Hey human, embarrassment is something that's quite embarrassing, one might say. And I think I found one of the most embarrassing decisions in gaming or esports that got hit with the double down clown combo that I have ever witnessed. Because 2 weeks ago, a guy by the name Firestar73 won his Pokémon Regional Championship in Oregon. But after he won, he was given a loss instead of a win, resulting in the best of 5. He won with a 2-3 stand, flipping it to a 3-2, giving his opponent the win of the tournament. And the reason given was that he celebrated unsportsmanlike. And now you might think, unsportsmanlike celebration? What, did he like start beating the fuck out of his opponents? Just start jumping him Mike Tyson style? Did he pull down his pants and start ejaculating on the entire audience?
He is the first time champion for himself and your 2026 Orlando champion!
Incredible series from Firestar, pulling out all the stops, all the Pokemon, taking us to a decisive Game 5.
Yeah, I get it. Like those double fist bumps into the air after throwing the headset away, that might have destroyed the entire Earth, honestly. I think everybody in the building died. Like, I don't get that, right? That original decision already makes zero fucking sense. Hot take here, but that was not a crazy celebration, you know? I am decently sure I was more ecstatic when I beat Savage Beastfly in Silksong for the first time than he was winning an entire tournament. Which honestly makes sense, that was a fucking ass boss. But now, the script has flipped. Because the official Play Pokemon account, which I assume is like the official information for competitive Pokemon, if it's card games or if it's Pokemon Go, I think that's where all the information comes from, gave an official statement regarding what happened in, it's Orlando. My bad. Giving more information on why Firestar was actually disqualified, saying, prior to the final game incident, during Game 1 of the Bracket Reset series, a player was issued a warning for the action of hitting and shaking the table during gameplay. Actions such as these can have a negative impact on the experience of participants and disturb the match in progress. Then, during Game 5, this same player's behavior continued to be disruptive, including shaking the table, to the point there was a disruption to the broadcast experience. The repeated infraction resulted in a penalty that was escalated to a game loss. And they also clarified that he did not get disqualified for having a reaction while celebrating, which is weird, because Firestar was told that that was the original reason why he was giving a loss instead of a win. And now they'd say, yeah, you didn't celebrate unsportsmanlike, but you did kind of shake the table, which is ridiculous. Like, you just changed the entire story. And sorry to be a Sherlock Holmes here, a little bit of a skeptic, this feels like the judges made a wrong call, but then realized that they made a wrong call and then said, yeah, we can't go back on that. Like a fucking Reddit mod, like a Discord mod, or somebody in the TikTok comment section. As soon as you start an argument, you gotta keep being on that side, because otherwise your entire ego will be destroyed and you will be disintegrated. And Firestar supports this by saying, hey, I was not made aware of this when I was issued this loss. I was told I was given a loss for unsportsmanlike behavior, and now it is because I had disruptive behavior. And he even refers to a rule that states that saying a reason then changing it later on for this loss isn't okay by their own rules. And in the original Google Doc that he released, he also refers to multiple rules showing that even if his celebration was unsportsmanlike, it shouldn't result in a loss. Which again further supports my theory that this was just an ass pull because they themselves noticed that they made a mistake and then had to scramble for a different reason. And just to support my theory even more that this is entirely to just fuck Firestar over and the judges made a wrong call, an actual different judge from Pokemon that also judges tournaments said publicly, as a judge, I'm not supposed to discuss ruling publicly. However, I also believe that as a judge, my job is to give players a fair space to compete. If a player in a high-stakes battle can lose out on thousands of dollars for shaking the table, what kind of space have we built? And in response to this, he was banned from the Pokemon Professor's Discord, which I assume is where all the fucking goobers gather to discuss post-nut judgment or something. And they deleted all the messages he posted in the Discord, which is insane. They just silenced him for giving his own opinion. Like, if you didn't want to seem guilty of having a wrong call, maybe don't shut down criticism by simply banning that person, because that is probably the worst possible thing you could do. That's legitimately the equivalent of being on trial for murder, and there's a witness that witnessed the murder, and in response, you murdered the witness. If there's no witness, I can't be guilty, right, guys? But just disregard all of that. I did the courtesy of finding the moment in Game 5 that apparently resulted in disruptive broadcasting experiences and just disruptive behavior. And let me tell you guys, hold on to your table. Shit's about to get shaky. We might all die.
Sasha has a slight entry lead. He does get to the Aquadale, changing things around, and that's Firestar not loving the sight of this.
Whoa, Firestar, calm down, calm down. That could have killed the entire Earth. The entire Earth nearly exploded with that. He tapped the table twice. Now, one might say, that's dangerous. He could have killed his opponent with that. What the fuck are we doing? He didn't even react hard. There was no shaking. There was no disrupting of the broadcast experience. I watched the entire match all the way through and did not notice it the first time I watched it. And I paid attention only to him. I had no idea what they were talking about. Then I looked back what game they were referring to, and then I had to think, what moment could they possibly be talking about? And that is the moment. There is no other moment where he behaved even close to disruptively. He tapped the table twice. It didn't even look hard. Also, I don't think it bothered his opponent. I don't even think his opponent noticed that. I didn't notice it. Granted, I'm not sitting at the fucking table, but he was given a loss for that. But he did do this before, as per the Pokemon statement. So let's look at that.
To knock out as Firestar reaches for the Scorching Sands just before the next Ice Beam comes through.
Switch timers are coming up. You can see Firestar shaking his head. He doesn't think he has enough time to pivot out to the opponent.
I have genuinely looked at this game 4 times. They say in their statement, prior to the final game incident during Game 1 of Bracket Reset series, a player was issued a warning for the action of hitting and shaking the table during gameplay. Now, I genuinely can't find it. I don't know what they're referring to. I assume Losers Bracket Game 1, because that's what a bracket reset is. I have no idea what moment they're talking about. Those are the moments where he shakes his head. Those are the moments where he maybe shook the table. But afterwards, we didn't see any notice of a warning being issued to him or anything. We didn't see anything. I didn't see anything in the game. Now, obviously, I can't see the entire table, but this feels like the biggest ass pull in the world. I genuinely cannot find anything where he had disruptive behavior, even in the slightest. And I think what backs up the ass pull is that they aren't specifically putting timestamps. That would have been easy to do. I had to go to these videos, these 8-hour VODs, figure out what match they were referring to, and look through the entire match and try to guess what moment they are referring to. If they had actual proof of Firestar doing this disruptive behavior, they would immediately display it. And it's not like we don't know who they are talking about. They're acting like, we want to keep the people private. We want to protect them. No, you can say their name. We know who you're talking about. The fact that you don't want to say it also shows again that you think you're wrong. Also, the fact that they just changed the entire story. They went from unsportsmanlike celebration to disruptive behavior at an instant. As soon as people got attention that this is not a valid reason to fucking give him a game loss resulting in him losing the entire tournament, they just said, he might have been disruptive. Like, we can't tell you when he was disruptive, but yeah, he was disruptive. You just gotta believe us, you know, after we lied to you about the unsportsmanlike behavior. It's all around a fucking stupid call. I don't know who's in control here. I think the judges made a wrong call. That doesn't mean the judges deserve a ton of hate. Shit probably happens all the time. And per Firestar's own statement, this call did not come from the judges, but someone way higher up in the command chain, which is important. But the fact that Pokemon themselves aren't able to admit it is incredibly disappointing. I think they should just give Firestar his title back that he rightfully earned. Thought I'd talk about that. Goodbye.